Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 338, Milestones and Mishaps. I'm Nick. We have Harrison tonight. How are we doing tonight, Harrison?
Fantastic, Nick. How we doing?
Doing pretty well. Now with Jeopardy on Thursday nights for the next few weeks, we will be catching up on all the news and all the discussion topics on Sunday. So we got a lot to dive into tonight. So join us in the chat. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links on the tops of all of our socials. So if you do any shopping with these companies, please do it through our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. We also have Rounding Third merch on Etsy. If you search Rounding 3RD Baseball, you will find sweatshirts, t-shirts, tumblers, phone cases, a whole bunch of stuff on there. Just a great way to support us and to get our name out there. And finally, on Patreon, we're still trying to build this community. It's kind of a slow burn, but we're still trying to build it here. So check us out, Rounding Third Baseball on Patreon. It's an app that you can download to your phone, but it's a great way to really support your favorite creators. So check us out over there. All right. Leading off tonight, Harrison, Jakub Mierzewski. This kid just each start just seems to add another mile per hour or two on his fastball. So he hits 104 on the gun. He has a one-hit shutout, and it's a Maddox. He pitched a Maddox with 15 Ks, mind you. 15 Ks, throws a Maddox. Is he our newest Cy Young frontrunner?
He has to be, right? I mean, we were just talking about Paul Skenes before we went on, and he lost another start today. He's fallen to 6-6 with a 2.85 ERA. Looks very human this year, which is kind of funny. The Pirates have gotten better, and Skenes is human, and the math hasn't been math there. But I think the poise you see out of him, the command you see out of him, the stuff you see out of him. I mean, we knew it when he came up, and he had that first few months where he was just lights out, and then he had a really tough second half. But I think that was a young guy learning. Well, he learned because he doesn't just throw crazy hard, but like it's also the way he sets hitters up, the way he goes in, he goes out. He's very much becoming a pitcher with an arsenal of weapons that is, rivaled by very few.
I mean, I would have all the poise and confidence of the world if I had his stuff, man. I mean, no one's going to touch me.
It helps.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, it is unreal. Now, it's just my worry is how many bullets does he have in that elbow before we lose him for a year and a half? I mean, 104 is not natural. I mean, heck, 97 is not natural, but you're adding another 7 miles per hour onto that fastball. How many bullets realistically does he have left in his elbow?
I mean, his elbow is going to explode at some point. I think we all know that Tommy John's in his future. And that's the sad part of kind of where we are with baseball is that he's a ticking time bomb. They all are. And something bad's going to happen. But man, oh man, enjoy the ride while you can, because watching this guy pitch is incredible. Just who knows how long it'll last.
Right. So, I would say he's the front runner right now, but the NL is packed with some Cy Young candidates. Who else do you see kind of near the top battling him for this?
I mean, you're going to have some of the usual suspects. You're going to have Skenes. You're going to have Yamamoto will be in the conversation. I mean, Shohei is going to be in the conversation. Obviously, the Miz. I mean,
Sanchez.
To me, that's the top four. Sanchez is in there. He's part of your top five. Those are the guys off the top of my head that I immediately throw out there. But I'm sure if I looked for a few minutes, I could find 3 or 4 more guys that are. I mean, we just talked about Max Meyer of the Marlins. He's 7-0 with a 2.75 ERA. I mean, he's making a case to not be ignored either. So there's a lot of good arms, and the funny part is most of them are young. There's not really any crafty veterans in this group. I mean, I think Christopher Sanchez is the oldest one of the group, which isn't saying much.
Yeah,
These
right.
guys are all just young and loaded with talent.
Yeah. I mean, it is just this outing to me, a one-hit shutout, throws a Maddox is insane, right?
Yep.
The stat that pops out to me is he threw a Maddox with 15 Ks. Like you don't see that. If the guy's got 15 Ks, he's up around or well over 100 pitches.
Yeah.
I mean, that
a lot of pitches usually.
mowing guys down. Absolutely insane. But
Well, and there's one. It just so many at bats with him are fast. Like, and that's the thing I like about him is that he's not one of those guys that gets a lot of strikeouts because he nibbles like Blake Snell. This dude just throws strikes. Here it is, hit it if you can.
yeah.
He's not getting really, really deep into counts. He's not messing around. Like, he's in the strike zone a lot. You just can't hit it.
No. I mean, we were talking to Jonathan Van Every about what does 100 look like, and he goes, it's a blur. Like you add 104 onto that, like what does that even look like? If 100 looks like that, what is 104? And people are like, well, not much of a difference, but there is a huge difference when you are at that speed. 104 is a big jump from 100. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, geez, man, absolutely insane. And then he just drops an 88-mile-an-hour slider on the outside corner, and good luck.
Well, and was it Schwarber that was a 105 that he dotted on the corner? And
Yeah.
Schwarber just turned back to the umpires like, what just happened?
Yeah. And we're yelling at umpires because they're making like bad calls, missing them by tenths of an inch. Dude, umpires can't see it. If the hitters can't see it, umpires can't see it. It's just this is wild. But I'm with you. Just watch it while you can, because I mean, I hope not. I hope I'm not jinxing the kid, but I just guys that throw this hard this often, right? I mean, he leans heavily on that fastball.
He does.
Eventually it catches up for sure.
Yeah, and he dials it up. He's anywhere from high 90s to 104, 105. He's moving up and down the velocity chart. And this is a great comment, from highlights from Lowlifes. The last start was much like the Kerry Wood 20K game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments with him on the mound that I think back to the days of guys like Pryor and Wood when they came up. Like just the fact they had stuff that was like so far beyond their years that veteran players were even standing back going, wow, like what do I do with that?
Yeah. Nothing. Joseph, I've seen 104 on the radar reading too, but not from a pitcher. Coming from an ex-cop. Love it. But yeah,
easier
man,
to see a car going 104 than that baseball, I bet.
Yeah, definitely. But wild. All right, let's get into this Yamamoto start. He's in Chicago, and Perfecto is ruined in the 8th with 2 outs due to a Mookie Betts error. And this one, it's tough. As an ex Mookie Betts lover. I mean, I still love the guy. Let's be honest. But watching him in Boston, watching him make the transition from right field to shortstop, this was a routine play. And I don't know if it was the nerves, he took his eye off it or what, but it was a complete botch. Yamamoto loses the perfect game, and then he gives up the no-hitter in the top of the 9th, and gave up like a solo bomb or something like that. So tough way to lose a perfect game right there. You kind of feel for Mookie Betts in that moment.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I mean, he, like we were saying, took his eyes off of it, just whiffed on it. It's a bad spot to do that. And I'm sure Mookie would tell you, like, that is one of the cardinal sins, and I know I can't do, but I did it because I was trying to get ahead of the play. And I will say, like, some of the defensive metrics for Mookie are okay, but he doesn't look natural at shortstop. Like, nothing about his game looks natural. Nothing about his game flows. It's very choppy. And I wish they would just stop the experiment, because you've also seen the offense decline when he made that move. I don't think that shortstop is suiting him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he has to put in a lot more work defensively than shagging balls in the outfield or reading the ball off the wall, right? I'm with you. It has definitely taken a toll on him. And Mookie Betts isn't getting any younger, right? He's been in the league a long time. Listen, the transition from the outfield to the infield is damn near impressive, and we've never seen it. We've never seen a guy do that to this at this level, right? You have guys that bounce around all the time, but he went from a full-time right fielder to a full-time shortstop, right? So, I mean, as great of a player as Mookie Betts is, and I'm not trying to slight him in the least, man. I wish I had the talent that he possesses in his pinky finger, right?
Yep.
The dude's a ridiculous athlete. This is just a tough play. He got caught in between on a slow roller. It handcuffed him a little bit, and that's the end of the perfecto. But you hate to see a perfect game go away because of an error like that on a routine play. If it's a tougher play and it's kind of ruled an error, then maybe, but this was a tough one to swallow. Even if you're a Dodgers hater, it was a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, that was rough. And that there's no team I'd love to see suffer more than the Dodgers. Don't get me wrong, but like that's not what you want to see. No. Like that's just crappy all around. And I give a lot of credit to Mookie. He picked his head right back up, looked around, saw the situation, kind of went, okay, like that's on me. Kind of gave Yamamoto the nod. Yamamoto gave him the nod back, and they went back to work.
Yeah.
And I will say, I was impressed. Yamamoto did not let that bother him at all. He just got back on and just kept rolling. So it didn't, that's I think what you get with a more veteran team. Yamamoto is still a relatively young pitcher, but surrounded by guys like that, you've seen him mature pretty quickly. It's a tough look, but
yeah, Curtis, close calls for no hitters this year. Eventually, the fans will see one. Yeah, we'll get one eventually. It's coming. But yeah, so not only does it end the perfect game bid, Harrison, it ends a streak of 45 consecutive batters set down in order for Yamamoto. He retired 22 straight before he left the game in his last outing, goes 8 2/3 without allowing a runner. In this game, I think he misses tying the record by 1. So if Mookie retired that batter, he would have tied the record for most consecutive batters set down in a row, which was by a reliever, mind you, not a starter, a reliever.
Right.
I mean, just absolutely insane. But is Yamamoto now at the top of the Cy Young?
I mean, he has to be. He's been so incredibly good for them. And I mean, that the Dodgers pitching has been a little bit weird this year. He's been the one guy who's been consistent. His numbers aren't like spectacular, but he is so hard to hit. If you don't get to him early, you don't get to him at all. And right. He doesn't give up many. Now he's had some games where he's blown up and gotten torched. But most games you're lucky to get 1 or 2 on him. And once he gets rolling, you can't stop him. He's one of those like momentum guys that once he gets going, it's over. You can't change it.
Yeah, I never played at, obviously the level that these guys are, but I was like that with a pitcher. If I got through the first and I was feeling good, like don't let me settle in because I'm finding control. I'm hitting my spots. I'm getting guys out. I was better later in the game if I got through my first couple innings feeling good. So, and he's the same way, right? So,
yeah, very much a momentum guy.
Yeah. Insane though. 45 consecutive batters set down is wild for anybody, let alone a starter. Crazy. Yeah, crazy streak.
You're talking multiple trips to the lineup. Guys have seen you, and he just continues to come at you. And the thing I like about Yamamoto, kind of like Miz, is that he's in the strike zone a lot.
Yeah.
Just, here it is, hit it. He's not afraid to pitch to contact. He's also not afraid to make you swing and miss, but he's not going to do so by, throwing 3 pitches in the dirt hoping to swing at 1. Like he's in the zone a lot.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Harrison. I feel like we've jinxed this guy, but José Ramírez broken hamate. What is the issue with all of these hamate injuries lately? I know we talked about it briefly at the end of spring training with Lindor and Carroll, and there was another one in there. I can't remember who, but now we have another one. Is this gym injuries? Is this just straight overuse? What is going on here?
I've read several theories lately that went to conditioning. They're not conditioning the muscles and the tendons and all that to support the bone structure of the hands and wrists like they used to. I've heard overuse. When you think about the full season, postseason, WBC, spring training, like all the things these guys do, and also off season, these guys do a lot of hitting in the off season. and that it's overuse. I've heard that it's something to do with the way these guys are whittling down the bat handles, and because of that, they get more tension in the grip. Like, there's tons of theories. I don't know what it is. I can't remember. I mean, I remember Hamate injuries, but I can't remember ever seeing more than like 1 or 2 in a year. We've had
Right.
what, 5? I mean, there's
At
they
least
just
that we
keep
know
coming.
of.
They
Right.
just keep coming.
Yeah, bat speed and launch angles. I mean, John, that could be, if
Yeah.
not the main cause, it could be part of it for sure. Yeah, man, it's wild. But do the Guardians have any shot with José Ramírez out of the lineup?
I mean, I'd like to be fair to them and say sure, but no. I mean, it's hard. Like, that dude is the absolute core of that team, and without him, I just don't think there's enough there. Now, every time we think the Guardians are not going to be very good, they surprise the hell out of us. So, like, I'm never going to write these guys off, but I just think that the climb got a hell of a lot more steep.
Damn. Well, Curtis just said Ryan Jeffers of the Twins done. Vinny P just went down with the same thing too. I mean, goodness gracious, that's
Did
wild. I
Pasquantino
didn't
go
know
down?
those two. Yeah, I get Mike. That's what Mike Reed just said. I mean,
Oh,
trust him.
just a couple days ago, they just put him on the IL.
Damn.
I didn't even see that one. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
I've stopped paying attention to the Royals because, boy, that season's been a disaster.
Yeah, they have not played well at all.
Oh,
And
no.
Joseph, this is a good point. The Guardians have a shot if they play the Tigers a lot. Good point.
Or the Royals, because the Royals score like 1 run a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. It just seems like there has been a big spike in these injuries. And I wonder if there's a sports medicine guy out there that will take a deeper dive into this. But I think John Temple might be onto something. It could be just the approach at the plate, right? The launch angles, the max bat speed, the max effort. It's kind of like Tommy John, right? These guys are also max effort swinging to get to these high velocity pitches. Does that just put overuse, wear and tear on the hand?
Actually, I just, so one of the articles I looked at, they kind of go a little bit deeper into talking about the Hamate, and what they're saying is because guys are taking their pinky and wrapping it over the bottom of the bat, over the knob, to get greater swing velocity. That's actually, that hook is causing the Hamate injuries. Because the knob is designed to be the point that supports the hand. Now, when you wrap your finger, like we saw Ellie De La Cruz had that weird little attachment to his bat when he first came up, so he could drop his finger below it.
Right.
So many of these guys are dropping their fingers below it. It's actually eliminating the structure of the bat that helps their hand. So that's one of the beliefs from this Orthopedic Institute as to why there are so many of them. Because when you miss hit a ball and you get the vibration, there's nothing to brace it. You're getting it raw and unfiltered.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
That's a plausible theory.
Yep, getting it off the end of the bat too at 104 doesn't help either. But
man, that's gotta hurt something. I mean,
yeah,
95 off the end of the bat hurts a hell of a lot. 104, that's got to be different.
I don't really want to experience that in my life. I'm going to be honest. I've been sawed off a handful of times at 80 miles an hour. I don't want to do it at 104. So yeah,
pass.
Crazy. Yep. All right, let's dive into this one, Harrison. Max Kepler signs with the D-backs while serving his 80-game suspension. First, what are your feelings on this?
I mean, I'm surprised he's getting another shot, first of all. I thought for sure when this all came down, that was the end of Max Kepler. The stigma of PEDs just, it seems to stick, and a lot of these guys don't recover from it. So shocked that he's back. And for the D-backs, it's a low risk opportunity to see if he's got anything without the juice, and build some depth. So, I mean, it's not a move that necessarily changes anything, but it's an interesting move.
Now, do you think if a guy gets caught for PEDs, should be penalized and kept on the roster to serve his 80-game suspension? Or do you think that's not fair to the team?
Well, I think I think the question gets back to, like, how do you serve a suspension when you're not signed anywhere and you're not actually missing any games? I mean,
Right.
the problem for these guys is that if the suspension only starts if you're signed, nobody's going to sign them. So the suspension's never going to start. And these guys are now stuck in this purgatory of never being able to get another job. So I think you have to let the suspension run out during the season because, yeah, he's not signed. He's also missing games because he's a free agent. Now, if he's not signed at the end of the 80 games and he's going to be a free agent no matter what, then it's kind of a pointless suspension. But for a guy like Kepler, who is now signing because he's going to come back, I mean, he did serve he did serve his time. Somebody may have signed him sooner, but it's hard because, like, you don't know for sure if he would have had a job. You know, he didn't really serve much of a suspension because he didn't miss any games, but in theory he did because nobody signed him because of the suspension. And it's one of those chicken and the egg arguments of, you know, how do you handle this in a way where he serves his time, but he actually gets some kind of punishment for it, and he's not just sitting on the couch because he would have been anyways.
Well, and that's fair. If a guy's rostered, does that change your opinion?
I mean, if he's got an active contract, yeah, absolutely.
So you would still have to carry him on the roster and then serve the 80 game, meaning that the Phillies wouldn't have been able to fill his spot on the roster.
Oh. I mean, if his contract would have still been if his contract was still active, then yeah, he would just he should be rostered and, you know, be required to sit. If his contract expired, which I'm pretty sure it did, he became an outright free agent, right?
Yeah.
You know, so you can't punish the team for a guy who's already gone.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I have mixed feelings on this. I mean, we all know the PED talk. There's at this point, there's really no excuse for it. I mean, you know, you're going to get tested, especially if you're a repeat offender, right? I mean, there's no excuse for it anymore. You know, you could walk into work any day and there's a guy sitting there with a pea cup and a plastic baggie being like, hey, let's go. You first 3 in the bathroom right now. You know, like, these guys get tested all the time. There's no excuse for PEDs anymore. You know, back in the day when they weren't testing for it, sure, whatever, take them whenever you want. But now there's no excuse. And it's still kind of, I mean, it's not nearly as prevalent, but with Profar and Kepler trying to hang on to their careers, does this benefit him? Because look, he just found another job and he's able to stay in the game longer. And that possibly is because of PED help. So is he still, even though he's clean, is it still kind of unfair to somebody else that could have that roster spot? Because him taking the PEDs has extended his career, even though he might not be taking them now. Is it still fair now?
It's hard because, you know, what kind of player is he without PEDs? You know, when did he start using PEDs? You know, which stats have been impacted versus, you know, what is actually him performing? There's, I believe in this world of crazy scouting reports and advanced metrics and advanced stats and all this technology that, like, teams are looking at Max Kepler and they know who he is. You know, PEDs or not, like, we know who this guy is. And here's the things about his game that we like. And because of that, we'll give him another shot. You know, is that taken away from somebody else? Maybe. But if he doesn't perform, as we see in this game all the time, then, you know, he'll just get DFA'd in a month and somebody else will get that shot. So I do think that teams have a way of deciphering, you know, what his actual baseline is. And then they're taking that chance. But at the same time, like, is Max Kepler going to be on the D-backs roster or is he going to be down in AAA? Like, I mean, who knows if this ends up going anywhere for him? But you're right. If his stats are inflated because of PEDs and he's getting a second chance because they think he's that guy, yeah, that kind of sucks for somebody who didn't do it and may have had a lesser stat line but did it clean.
Yeah. Yeah, cash grab. I don't blame him in the cost of living economy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the Diamondbacks. This is more of a maybe insurance policy. They have some young kids that are up there and they're playing really great baseball. The young kids are. I'm not saying the Diamondbacks as a whole are, but they have some kids that are developing and are going to be really good Major League Baseball players. I think this is more of an insurance policy. And to your point, I don't know if we see him up on the big club unless there is another big injury. So um, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on this. I mean, he served a suspension, fine. He's clean, fine. But I mean, one more and he's done, right? 162.
Yeah.
Is that the next one?
Yep. Yeah, you go from 80 to 162 to then, bye-bye, don't come back.
Yeah. So
I just and for the other part that's worth adding too is that Max Kepler didn't get busted because he took like a weird
paternity drug.
Yeah, like a weird protein supplement that had something in it or some other like this dude was taking like the worst of the worst anabolic steroids. They inject in beef cattle. Like this is not one of those like, oh, I didn't realize it was going to have that effect. It's like, no, I was putting stuff in my body intentionally that was really aggressive. And I knew exactly what I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, this isn't an oopsie moment.
No,
for sure.
So to me, like that is a different kind of PED case than the guys are like, oh crap, I didn't realize. Or I should have gotten that clear to the league.
Yeah, the guy that crashed his dirt bike and then got ringworm. That guy. Anyways, all right. Let's get to the Red Sox now, Harrison.
Can we not?
Well, this isn't necessarily a good stat.
Oh, okay.
First team since 1901, 125 years, to have their first three batters strike out in their first three at-bats. Jarren Duran, Ceddanne Rafaela, Willie Abreu, 0 for 3, all of them, 3 Ks, all of them. We're going to get to it in a little bit, but this Red Sox team, man, what is going on?
I've never seen a team with more swing and miss up and down the lineup than these guys. And Rafaela, yeah, he's always been that way. Duran's been a much better contact guy than this. He is lost up there. Something has happened to Duran and his game. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I'm not sure if he's going through something, if he's not healthy. He looks terrible. He did hit a home run. Was it yesterday? That kind of broke a little bit of a streak for him where he hadn't really hit the ball with any authority lately. But there's just so much swing and miss. God almighty, it's terrible to watch. It's always been there, but it's worse. It's worse this year, and it's this spiral. Like when I saw this stat, I just shook my head. I'm like, this is like, I feel like every couple of days is like a new rock bottom, and here we are.
I mean, a couple shows ago, we're like, it can't get much worse. Well, we're fine.
And these guys said, hold my beer.
Yeah. It just as Scott says, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just like Michael says, come on now. The 2024 White Sox didn't pull that out. Eventually they didn't. Apparently they didn't. So
yeah, the Red Sox suck in much more creative ways than the White Sox did.
I don't. We'll hold that discussion. I was going to say, where do the Red Sox go from here? But they'll come back up in our buyers and sellers here in a little bit.
Yeah, where do the Red Sox go from here? Anywhere else. They just please don't keep doing this.
Yeah, it is a crazy stat, but
terrible.
All right, let's turn some positive news. Freddie Freeman gets to the 2,500 hits in his career plateau. I mean, this guy is destined for 3,000, correct?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, barring some major injury, yes.
What are we looking at here realistically? 3.5 years ish, right? Like we'll say 160, 170 hits on the low side for Freddie Freeman. Next 3 years gets him there.
Oh yeah, I think he's got plenty of time to get there, and I think he's got 3 years left on his contract. So I mean, I think it lines up perfectly where he should be right at 3,000 when he gets to the end of that.
Yeah, he could be Bernie Mac, Mr. 3000 here towards the end of his career. It's lining up, lining up pretty perfectly here. But
Yeah.
yeah, Freddie Freeman's a first ballot Hall of Famer, right?
In my mind, yes. I mean, when you look at first baseman of this generation, he's right up there at the top of the list. So,
yeah,
I feel like he has to be.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if I can put another first baseman ahead of him in this era. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt, maybe, but Goldschmidt's a little bit older than Freeman. But I still think Freddie Freeman's the better all-around player. I love Paul Goldschmidt. I mean, he was a beast in Arizona, beast the first couple of years with the Cardinals, even won an MVP with the Cardinals. So, I mean, Paul Goldschmidt's up there, but tougher for me to find a better first baseman that has had this kind of production in this era.
Well, and I think on top of that, a big piece of the Hall of Fame ballot too is, do people like you? And does anybody have a bad word to say about Freddie Freeman? I mean, he might be one of the most likable guys in all of baseball. I mean, when he was going through that thing with his son, I mean, he was getting, cheers and standing ovations and support when he came back from road ball clubs, and road stadiums. I mean, he's an incredibly likable guy around the game. Helps that he also is a stud, but just a super likable guy, great ambassador for the game, and he's everything that you want an MLB player to be.
Yep.
He's talented, he's personable, he's funny. He cares with the fans, he takes time for the fans, like the model citizen MLB player.
Yeah. Joseph says it's going to be a neck and neck race, Father Time and 3,000 hits. I'm with you.
Yep.
Olsen is catching up. I mean, yeah, I don't think Olsen's quite the hit machine that Freddie Freeman is. Olsen's got the power, no doubt. He's got 20 bombs, savage. I think, this year too. But Olsen's finally getting some recognition, kind of being in there in Atlanta, taking Freeman's spot. But and Michael, a little bias here, but think he should go in with an A on his hat. And I think he will. I mean, he spent most of his career there. Now, if they three-peat here in LA, I don't know.
I think he goes in as a Dodger because it's home.
Yeah.
It's he's going to go in with his home ball club hat on.
Yeah.
But
John Dowd says he's going to get 3,000. I'm with you. And Scott agrees with you. Freeman appears to be good guys.
Great point from Mike Reed too, though, on 27. Like if you miss half the season in 27, does that affect Freeman's ability to get to 3,000? And I think a lot of these guys are starting to think like that. Like, what if I miss a month, 2 months, 3 months, a whole year? What does that do to my career path? What could I be leaving on the table?
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it mostly with Aaron Judge, right? Trying to chase that 500, that 600 number. Like, if he loses an entire season and loses 50 home runs off his total, what does that do? Yes, we're still going to know he's a Yankee great, right? I'm not saying that goes away, but when you look up his career numbers and he's sitting at 450, right? And you're just like, wait, like, I thought this guy would have had a lot more than that, but losing 50 home runs off your total because you missed the whole season because you're arguing over billions of dollars is an issue, I think, for some of these guys and their legacies. You're completely right. So
yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting when we get into this, how guys feel, because for the guys that are in their 20s and early 30s, not as big a deal. You can push a year, but for these guys that are down in their last 2 or 3 seasons, like if you have one get pushed off, sure, maybe your contract extends, but you're going to be a year older and you're already kind of hanging on at the back end. Guys like Freddie Freeman, guys like Chris Sale, these guys that are towards the end, like what do they have left if they've got to roll over another year?
Right. And just think about that off-season regimen that they're going to have to maintain to stay up at this level of play too, because they're older. Like the maintenance on their body of not playing is going to be a lot harder for these older guys as well. So, man, yeah, Stanton getting to 500s looking more like a long shot. Yeah. Tough look there too, but another guy just can't stay healthy. But Yeah, good for Freddie Freeman. I hope he gets to 3,000. I'm pulling for him, even though he's wearing that awful shade of blue. Still pulling for the guy because I love him. I love Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, I do wonder what that Dodgers team looks like in a year or two when you've got very much a end of career Freddie Freeman and a declining Mookie Betts. What that team does look like. You've got these guys for a little while longer, but we're already seeing Mookie's decline. Mookie's already started the decline. Freddie's been maintaining a pretty good pace. We've lost some power, but we're still getting some contact. What does that core look like in 28? If we miss 27.
Well, Bobby Witt Jr. gets traded there, and like it's Ronald Acuna goes over. It is what it is, but crazy. All right, I threw this in because I thought this was absolutely hilarious. I texted this to you, Harrison. Royce Lewis, the Twins had a replica jersey giveaway the night he was optioned to AAA. So we're in the St. Paul Saints. They had a Royce Lewis T-shirt giveaway the day he got called back up to the Twins. I just thought that was just absolutely incredible, and it's par for the course with this guy. What are your feelings on Royce Lewis in general?
I mean, certainly don't plan any giveaways that he's involved in, because he likely won't be there for it. But I mean, I feel the same way about Royce Lewis as I did a year ago and 2 years ago. He is an exceptional talent that can't get on the field.
Yeah.
And I mean, and even when he's been on the field, in many cases, he's been nursing injuries. Like, I don't know that we've seen a stretch of time with Royce Lewis where we've actually seen a 100% version of him.
It was just when the Twins won that first playoff series against the Blue Jays. He was like 6 for 8 with 6 bombs, and it was like insane.
Yeah, but I can't think of an extended period of time where we've seen like a real view of Royce Lewis. It's always some sort of diluted version. And even the diluted version is pretty damn good.
Right.
But he's just one of those guys that has been snake bitten by injuries. And it's all this like little ticky tack stuff. It's muscle and tissue stuff. And it's like, dude, either find somebody else to do your training because it's not working. Or go move to Pilates or yoga or something, because it must be a flexibility thing, because this dude gets hurt with the weirdest stuff.
Yeah, trade bait this deadline. I mean, possibly, Mike. I mean, this could be a case where he needs a change of scenery, to Harrison's point. Like, just get a new training staff. Like, maybe somebody unlocks him and be like, hey, let's try this. Let's try flexibility training, right? Because right now it's not working. He is Byron Buxton 2.0 for sure.
Yeah.
So
it's a shame.
Absolutely insane. Yeah. But when he's right, which is not often, he is a beast. But like you said, just can't stay on the field, and it's tough.
Yeah. We had a stretch in 2023 with him where he had like 30 or 40 games where he was right, and he was a monster.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt, missed the rest of it, and he's just never been back since.
No.
It's just been ticky tack stuff after ticky tack stuff.
Was that when they went to the playoffs, 2023?
It must have been, because he was a savage. He only played 60 games, but he put up insane numbers in that time.
Yeah, and I know that playoff series against the Blue Jays, he was lights. Yep. Like no one could get him out. So, yeah, insane.
I would love to see that guy for 3 months. Just give us a look at who he actually is.
Yeah. All right, Harrison. Buyers and sellers here at the deadline. I got the Red Sox, Tigers, Angels, Astros, Mets, Rockies, and Giants as obvious sellers here, which is a decent amount. And then I got the Yankees, Braves, Dodgers, maybe Mariners, and Brewers as buyers here. So let's go team by team and see who those teams are going to sell off, right? So let's go Tigers, and the obvious, Tarik Skubal. Who buys Tarik Skubal?
I mean, I think everybody. Last I saw, there was 9 teams that have already made calls to find his availability. I think ultimately the best package is probably going to come from the Dodgers. They've got the farm system. They've got the financial capabilities to throw some money back to the Tigers, which I think would make the Ilitch family happy. So I still feel like he ends up as a Dodger, but I think there are other teams out there where he could potentially have a bigger impact, where they could find an equivalent offer, but it just feels like him to the Dodgers is a given.
Yeah, I mean, do the Braves have a legitimate chance, do you think?
I mean, I've heard the Braves, I've heard the Rays have called. I've you name it. I think everybody right now is trying to figure out what his market's going to be. Because we all know the Tigers are going to let him go. Like this season is circling the bowl. You can't let him walk away for nothing. So I mean, I think everybody's in on him. I mean, I've heard the Yankees. I mean, I've heard everybody in the buyer column is called on him.
Yeah, but I mean, as you would. I mean, I think even the Red Sox called on him, and I'm like, why?
Well, and there's some of these sellers that don't necessarily believe they're out yet, like the Astros. Yeah. Hunter Brown is coming back. The Astros feel like they can salvage it. Maybe they'd make a run at him. I don't know.
Well, they need bullpen help. They don't necessarily need starter help because, well, I mean, I guess they need starter help. They're all in the IL, but if they all come back, the Astros will be fine. But
and the scary thing is the Astros are 33-40 and the 3 games out of the wild card. Like that's how bad the American League is.
Yeah,
it's it's like embarrassingly bad at this point.
Yeah. All right, let's save the Red Sox for last. How about the Angels? Anybody there you think gets moved at the deadline?
I don't think the Angels feel the need to move anybody. I think they want to keep that young core together. I mean, I could see they did dangle a guy like Joe Adell out there this offseason, see what they can get back for him. I could see him being out there. I saw somewhere that there were some discussions about maybe O'Hoppe and Shonawell being floated out there, see what they can get back for them, but I don't think they want to move them. There's really nobody in the pitching staff that you'd move. I mean, not a lot of value there.
Right. No one wants them.
Well, and Soriano got off to that unbelievable start and he came crashing back to earth hard.
Yeah.
As that whole team did after what looked like a decent start.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they've got a lot to offer, and I don't think they've got a lot of incentive to make moves because I do think they believe they're beginning to build a core they can work with. But I do see Adell having some value. I do see Soriano being a guy that might get floated out there. O'Hoppe in the catcher position, that's a tough spot to fill. Shonawell is an interesting player. Neto is an interesting player. I just don't know that they want to part with them.
Yeah, those guys have so much control that I don't think they're even looking to move them. But highlights, the Cubs have players to make a trade too. So that's not a bad one too for Skubal for sure. John's with you, Joe Adell. I know this name comes up at the deadline every year, Harrison, but does Mike Trout finally go to Philly?
Nope.
You still think he stays?
I don't think he wants to go. I don't think he wants to get traded. I don't think he wants to go. I don't know if the Phillies would give up a lot for him, taking in that big contract and the uncertainty of his playing time. Although I will say Trout looks like he's not the old Trout, but he's a better version than he has been the last few years.
I was going to say, I'd still take him blindfolded on the Red Sox right now.
Yeah. I mean, he's still an impact bat. He's not the Mike Trout of old, but he's still an impact bat, and he's looked good in the outfield. So
yeah,
I mean, there's that, but I don't think he's moving anywhere.
Do you think at any time in his career, like the last 2 or 3 years of his career, he finally says like, "Hey, I need a World Series ring. Send me to a contender," or is Mike Trout happy to go to the Hall of Fame with 3 playoff games under his belt?
I want Mike Trout to go win a ring. I don't think Mike Trout wants Mike Trout to go win a ring. I think he is very content being a lifer. I think he takes a lot of pride in the fact he's been there as long as he has, that he shows up whenever he can physically, that he's been there so long. I think comfort is a dangerous thing, and I think that's where he's at, and I think he's content with that. He's making a ton of money, living just outside of LA, playing for a team that's been okay for a while, and very much staying out of the headlines.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the Giants. Now, there's some interesting players here that could be have, but they come with a lot of baggage. And by baggage, I mean they come with mental baggage and they come with actual like money baggage because they're
big time.
massive contracts. So, I mean, the names that I think have kind of value is Robbie Ray, Logan Webb, Adames, Chapman, Devers. Would you agree with those 5?
Yes.
Okay. So we're on the same page there. Out of those 5, who is the most likely to get moved?
I think the only guy you can really move is Logan Webb. Now you could probably move Robbie. Yeah, you could probably move Robbie Ray for a bag of balls and a blockbuster coupon, but I don't think you're going to get a lot back from him. If I'm Buster Posey, I'm trying to find a deal where I can send Logan Webb and one of those other guys together, kind of like the Sox did with Mookie. I'll give you the headliner, but I got to bury one of these bad contracts with it. So I'll give you Logan Webb and Devers or Chapman or Adames, but you got to take one of them too. And that's how you get the good stuff. I think the Giants are going to have a hell of a time moving any of those guys, just given where they're at. But I do think, Logan Webb's a stud. I think he's got tons of value.
Yeah. Highlight says Robbie Ray, and he's over on the West Coast, so he's probably got a better pulse on it. So Robbie Ray might be the easier one to move. So I'm with you there, easier one to move, but people are going to call on Logan Webb for sure. The dude is an absolute workhorse on the mound. And come playoff time, I want Logan Webb on the hill for my team. He just pounds batters into the ground. And if you got a good enough defense, and this is fair highlights, right? He doesn't think the Giants will trade Webb. I mean, he's been such a stud for them for years, and he puts butts in seats. So why would they? But I mean, I don't think. But if a team,
I don't think you want to trade him.
Well, right. But if a team, blows you away with a package, I think you have to.
If you're Buster Posey, you need to find a way to fix this fast. Mm-hmm. And if that means I have to let Logan Webb go and I can tack one of these guys on with him, then I can justify that. If I just trade Webb for a couple of prospects, then I didn't solve my problem.
Right.
Right. You have to use Webb as the loss leader to send one of those bad contracts away so you can reset the deck.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's probably the only way he gets dealt is if one of those guys is tacked on for sure. So
yeah, because we watched the Red Sox. Basically they buried David Price in the Mookie deal. We watched them do that. We watched them do it a couple of times. I mean, we watched them dump all sorts of baggage to the Dodgers.
Yeah, Carl Crawford and Agon. Boom.
Yeah. Agon was the leader to dump the Crawford contract. That's in many cases you have to give up a stud to dump some of your trash in somebody else's yard.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, people are saying like Devers is going to move. That contract is an albatross. It is immovable.
Well, dear Lord.
That's a different story for a different day. But there's nobody taking on that contract. The Giants would have to eat every single penny of that contract for a team to take Devers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just about every penny.
Yes. I mean, the Red Sox ate some of it to move him. If you're the Giants, you need to get rid of it all. You need to find some way to just cleanse yourself of that deal completely.
Yeah. Yeah. Highlights is with you. Loss leader is Webb. Yeah.
It makes the most sense.
Yeah. San Francisco was the worst place for him to go. 1,000%, Mike Reed. It was, oh man, worst ballpark they could have put him in.
Well, and we said that the minute after he got traded, we're like, you couldn't have sent him to a worse place. That ballpark plays completely against his game. Completely.
Or better place if you're a Red Sox fan and how you feel about Devers. But that's
because what you're finding with Devers now is that he's, he doesn't have. I mean, he leads MLB in doubles. Cool. But he's got no power outside of that. 9 home runs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's and the batting average is terrible. He's overswinging. He's striking out at a way higher rate. OBP's down, strikeouts are up. It's a totally bad mix for him.
Yep. Highlight says Devers, Adames, and Chapman are not movable unless you take back equally bad contracts, and that's what the Giants don't want. And so if you want, like, you're gonna get a bad contract back, like, why even trade him at that point? So you just they're gonna be almost, like you said, just dump off moves there if anything happens. But
Buster Posey's gonna get a lot of people that laugh and hang up when he calls.
Yep. All right. Rockies, Harrison, are there any pieces that they would ship off, or are they kind of content keeping their core and seeing if they can keep building forward?
I think they're content trying to keep building forward. I mean the Colorado Rockies / Broncos scored 23 runs today.
At that Las Vegas park that's been just putting up runs like crazy in this homestand.
And they've got all these young guys. You got, Troy Johnston and Kyle Karros and Hunter Goodman and this group of players that is finally starting to play together and starting to show some signs of life.
TJ Rumfield's another one.
Yeah, I've watched some of these the Rockies A's games in Vegas, and like they've been entertaining. This Colorado team, they've got some thump in that lineup. They got some guys that can run. They got some guys that can move runners over. So do the A's. I look at the Rockies. They're kind of on the path of the A's. They're just a few years behind them, but they're building to that. So I don't think there's anybody there you'd be like, yeah, let's move him and see what we can get for him, because most of these guys are brand new. And they're under control and they're cheap.
Yeah. I mean, highlight says Senzatella. Would he go? Would a Lorenzen? Would pitching can always, get moved around. So it wouldn't surprise me because teams are always looking for pitching down the stretch. So maybe one of those guys go. But yeah, I think the core, the guys on the field, all 162, they stay. I'm with you.
Yeah, and I've heard rumors that Senzatella is a guy that's been openly shopped. I've heard rumors that teams have called on Freeland, thinking that if you got him out of that ballpark, you get a different guy. I think maybe some of the pitching could be available, but I think they're position players. I don't think many guys there will be available.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's touch on the Astros. So Yordan Álvarez's name has been popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
What do the Astros do with him? And listen, if the New York Yankees get that guy, man, oh my word. Those right field grandstands might fall over. But do the Astros actually move on from Yordan Álvarez? Because that package you're going to get for him is going to be astronomical if it actually happens.
Yeah. Wow. If he went to the Yankee Stadium, they'd have to put netting up in right field. Otherwise, people would die.
Even for sure.
Dude just hits rockets. Do they move on from him? I don't know how you do. I mean, he signed through 28 at a relatively fair contract. I mean, definitely below market value. He's an absolute rock star for you. You think you still have a chance that you can turn this thing around. You're only 3 games out and you got guys coming back. I don't know. The Astros are the one team that I think will surprise us and not trade away. I think they'll bring in, because they seem to be convinced that they've got some juice to make a run.
I mean, anything can happen in the AL West. The AL West is a train wreck, right?
It is.
So, I mean, I don't blame them, but I'm with Mike Reed in this aspect. They should trade Yordan because it's not like they're going to pay him, right? But do you ride out the 2 years you have, looking at the status of the AL West, being like, we can win the division these next 2 years? Heck, we've won the division every year for 15 out of the last 16 years or something like that, right? It's been the Astros division. And is this the time to get rid of Yordan? I don't know. I mean, but if there is a massive prospect haul out there to get, I think you have to, if you're the Astros, right? If you like Spencer Jones, and I'm just using the Yankees as an example, you like Spencer Jones in New York, Maybe you get Dominguez. Maybe you get some of those pitchers. Does it take a Schlittler? Does it take a Will Warren? Right? Does it take a bona fide starter in the rotation? The Yankees are going to pull the trigger. If you're going to give me Yordan Álvarez, hell yeah. Sorry. Like, absolutely, I'll give up Will Warren. Will it hurt? Sure. But Garrett Cole's back. All my guys are back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of a pipe dream, but I'm just using the Yankees as an example. I think there's a team out there that has a package to get Yordan Álvarez. Whether the Astros want to pull the trigger or not, that's a different story.
Yeah, I think there are teams that will make them an offer that's going to be very hard to refuse. The Astros still seem to believe that they are in it. And, they're only 3 games out and Hunter Brown's coming back and he's going to save our season. And I think they need a little bit more time to realize that that's not going to happen because they've got other holes. But I think Yordan Álvarez could be, him and Skubal will be, 1A and 1B at the deadline, if not sooner, for guys that the phone lines are lighting up for.
Agree. So you think the Astros are standing pat? You don't really think that they're going to sell anybody else?
As of right now, the Astros are indicating they think they're in it. Hunter Brown's coming back. They feel confident. They're only 3 games back. They can close that gap. They're not looking to be sellers yet. Now, in 30 days, if they're not seeing that trend change, then they're going to have to get real.
Yep, agree.
But I think what we said many times is right. What you said earlier in the show is that the bar is so low in the American League, almost nobody's really out of it yet.
Yeah, which I think this deadline could be. It's going to be one of two things. There's going to be no movement, or it's going to be like, if you remember last year's trade deadline, man, it was insane. It was like every 30 seconds, it was like move, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't keep up with this. But all right, let's move on to the New York Mets, Harrison. Do they start tearing it down already and start shipping pieces out? Mostly, I'm thinking Freddie Peralta, Bo Bichette, both on 1-year deals.
I mean, if we've seen Steve Cohen do it before. I mean, he basically paid Scherzer and Verlander's way to get the hell out of town. So he's done it before. I would not be shocked if you see him do the same thing again and find a way to spin guys out of here. Obviously, Soto's untouchable. You can't do anything about him. He's there. But I could see you try to dump. I could see you try dumping parts off. I could see you trying to dump Semien. I could see you trying to make a move to get Bichette out of town. Freddie Peralta probably makes sense to let him go unless you plan on re-signing him, which they have indicated they might. Then what you should be having this conversation with Peralta right now. Hey, let's talk extension. If the answer is no, okay, then goodbye.
Yeah,
we're sending you somewhere else. This is the time to assess like who's part of the long term and who's not. If they're not, find a home for them.
Yeah.
If they are, then get some extension talks going and start to build for 27, 28, 29 and just throw the flag on 2026.
So Bo Bichette, no trade clause though. Does he lift that?
I think for the right opportunity, yeah. I think he would.
I'm with you.
And if I'm Bo, it's third base has not worked. It's been a disaster. The offensive numbers are terrible. Defense is terrible. I know they've been moving him around. It's not working. And that I'd like to go somewhere else and get a fresh start and prove that I'm not the guy you've seen for the last 2 months, 3 months. So if I'm him, I might be begging, like, get me out of here.
Yeah. Anybody else on that Mets team that you could realistically see moved that would make an impact on another team?
I'm really curious what the situation with Frankie Lindor is. What is going on inside that organization? And is he the guy? Or is it time to let him explore another option?
Yeah.
Because, there's been lots of reports the last couple of years of beef inside the clubhouse, and his name's been mentioned in some cases. And I think as likable as he is and as liked as he normally is, something there isn't working.
Yeah. I mean, I've always loved Francisco Lindor. I love the type of player he is. I love how he carries himself as a ball player, right? I think he looks like he's always having fun. And for something to not be gelling there, I don't know if that's necessarily his fault or what he's been dealt since he's been there. I mean, he's got to be the longest tenured Met now, right? At this point.
This is year number. I mean, he really hasn't played, so it's hard to count it. But this is year number 6 there. Yeah.
So I can't think of. I mean, you got rid of Nimmo, you got rid of Alonso, so nobody else I don't think has been tenured there as long as Lindor, right?
He's got to be your elder statesman at this point, right? Because there's nobody else. Definitely not position players, and I can't think of any pitchers that have been there that long.
No, so I think he's almost kind of maybe fed up with Cohen bringing in all these guys. It's not working. Ship them out. Like you can't build any type of clubhouse rapport or relationships with your teammates if they're there for a half a minute and gone. I mean, I kind of don't blame him. Like, do the Mets move on from him? I'm sure someone would like to take Frankie Lindor off their hands.
Yeah, and the timing is good because he's expected back in a couple of weeks. He's in simulated games right now. He's going to take a minor league assignment, back by the end of June. It's a good time to start to think about like what's next for him because he's signed through 2031. So you'd be trading a guy with some contract life. It's a big contract, obviously, 10 years, 341. It's a lot of money, but he still has incredible elite level talent. He's a guy who's still only 32. Granted, you'd be buying the back half of that contract, which is not ideal, but
right.
This is a guy that I think still has a lot of value around the league and in the right situation could be the right piece.
Yeah. Mike says, isn't there reports that they moved off Pete and Nimmo because of Lindor?
The reports were inconsistent. It was kind of Lindor and Soto. Like apparently there's some internal beef in the clubhouse that those guys are are involved in. Yeah. I don't know. All I know is the train came off the tracks in New York when Soto got there.
Yeah. And even if this is the case, if it was Lindor, it still wouldn't surprise me to have Cohen ship him out because if this is accurate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. And highlights, I'm with you. Again, it's plenty of pitching parts, Peterson, Mania, Weaver, etc. Right? I mean, I think there are some pieces that can be picked off that Mets roster for a contending team. I agree.
Yeah. It's a mess. It's time to reset.
All right. Here we go. Speaking of messes, the Boston Red Sox, Harrison. Everybody but Wilson Contreras on the trade block.
I think Contreras is on the trade block.
Fair enough. Yeah, he's the only one really producing. He's the only one producing.
He's the only guy right now that people are going to be like, yeah, I want him. I want that bat.
Who else do you see realistically getting shipped out of Boston?
I mean, realistically, I think you're looking at the true candidates to be traded are Contreras, Duran, and Sonny Gray. I think those are the three guys you can justifiably move. You're going to eat some money to move Sonny Gray. Duran's an easy one to move. Contreras is probably an easy one to move. I don't think nobody's taking Trevor Story off your hands. I read an article yesterday or today, this whole story about how to trade Trevor Story. It's like I can write fiction too,
right.
And just make stuff up. But there's no way in hell anybody's taking him off your hands. So
yeah,
you're stuck there.
Now, I agree with you with Duran. I think he is the movable part out there, but does anybody want him? He's batting like 206.
Yeah. Like I said earlier in the show, like something's off with him, whether it's a physical thing, whether it's a focus thing, whether it's, mental health or distraction. Duran comes with baggage. He's got the 2 suspensions for getting into stuff with the fans. Like he comes with baggage. And that's obviously something that general managers are going to be aware of and take into account when they make that move. But the one thing with Duran is you have a body of work that's been very good. This year feels like the anomaly. You got speed. Speed always plays. You've got elite defense. Elite defense always plays. So like, there's things you can count on, and I think a lot of people see this for what it is. It's a bad season and a bad environment in Boston, and everybody's just kind of going off the deep end.
Will somebody check in on Jackie Bradley Jr. 2.0? Stay down, Rafaela.
I mean, yeah, probably. I think he's a tough guy because the defense is great. The offense is, granted, his contact rate and all that, he's done a way better job this year.
Yes, he has.
We've seen a big improvement in his game offensively, which is funny because the team's offense is trash, but he's having a good year. I think teams will check in on him. I just don't know if the Red Sox want to move him.
I agree.
And I kind of don't blame him. He signed through 31 at an incredibly cheap contract. He's got position flexibility. He has an air for the dramatics. Not a bad guy to have.
Yep. Last guy I'll ask you about, Willie Abreu.
I think he's a guy that could very easily get moved too. Teams are going to call on him. He has an interesting skill set, great defender, streaky bat, but a bat. I think he's going to get a lot of interest. I think the Red Sox are less likely to deal him if they can move Duran. Yeah, I've always liked Duran, and I really wanted to see Duran sign a long-term deal and stay. I don't see that being a reality here.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Before we move on from this segment, is there any buyers that you think could put in for somebody that we haven't talked about?
I don't think so. I mean, I think you look around the league, the Braves are going to be out there shopping hard. Phillies will be out there shopping. I expect the Mariners to be out there shopping. But there's not really any other impact guys that I expect to move. Like, I don't think you're going to see Ketel Marte all of a sudden go. I don't think you're going to see Mike Trout move. I don't think you're going to see, Bobby Witt Jr. suddenly get traded out or any big moves in the Central. I mean, I do think there's going to be other moves to be made, but I just don't know. Like, I could see a guy like Nimmo being a target and people want to pull him off the Mets.
No, off the Rangers, you mean?
I'm sorry, off the Rangers. Yeah, backwards now. Sorry, off the Rangers. But the Rangers are a half game out. Like, I don't think they're going to want to move him. Like, this is with so many teams in it, those like second tier moves are going to be hard to make.
Right.
Because a guy like Nimmo would be a great trade candidate because the Rangers are under 500. They should be out of it. Well, they're a half game out.
Yeah.
Like, they're in it. And he's going to be a hard guy to move. I mean, there's nobody else in the Tigers I think anybody's going to call on. I suspect that, Framber Valdez is staying. Skubal is going to be the guy that goes. There's nobody else there you'd move. The Twins are those kids are still all in preschool.
Right.
There's just not a lot of moves to be made. Well, the one team I wonder about is the Orioles. Will they maybe pull some parts off? Is this when you see a guy like Adley Rutschman get dealt? Is this when you see some of those guys that are maybe not exactly you thought they would be find a new home?
Possibly. I mean, we have kind of said that, since they, had that collapse last year, didn't make the playoffs, didn't even, sniff the playoffs really. Is it time to kind of reset? Did they crash and burn with your young kids, or are they expecting them to rebound? Do you start dealing some of those guys? And I think Rutschman is the odd man out there. Basayo is the catcher there for the future. I think Adley is the odd man out. So I could see Adley going. Again, I don't get to watch much Orioles games, so I don't really have a great pulse on them. The same thing with the Nationals. I've heard CJ Abrams' name come up. As a team that needs a shortstop, he's okay defensively. He's got tons of thump in his bat. So maybe we see CJ Abrams get moved somewhere. Maybe that's a Dodgers move. Maybe the Dodgers go back to the well over there in the Nationals, like they pulled Trey Turner and they pull CJ Abrams over there and they get Betts back in the outfield somehow. I don't know. Do the Marlins finally trade Sandy? That's a great one. His name's been on the block, it seems like, for the last 8 years. So
Yeah.
I think a team might want to. If there's not many pieces out there to be had, he's not a bad third or fourth starter for a rotation. I'd take him. Why not?
No, and he hasn't been great this year, but he's been good.
Yeah.
He's just had some like big blow up games. Like Toronto roasted him a few weeks ago. I think he gave up 8. He just got hit around. Atlanta beat him up pretty good before that. He's had some tough starts, but he's been a lot better than he was last year.
Yeah. So I mean, possibly I could see him getting moved for a team that needs some depth.
But at the same time, the Marlins are 36-36 and 2 games out of the wild card.
Exactly.
So it's like they're hanging on. Yeah. I do think there's going to be teams maybe like the Marlins or the Nationals who realize, yeah, maybe we're in contention in air quotes, but like we're not going to make any noise in the playoffs. Maybe we should treat this like we're out of it and start building for next year.
Yeah, the more and more that we sit here and kind of break this down, the more I think that this trade deadline is going to be a dud. And it's because, and I might be completely wrong, but everyone is still in it, right? There's other than a couple teams like the Red Sox, the Rockies, the teams that are way, way out of it, right? Everybody else is in contention. And the other part of this is what's looming in 2027 or what's not looming. We know it's inevitable, right? Do teams really want to make deals with these guys, not knowing what your cap space is going to be in 2027 or 2028? I don't know if teams want to do that and try to have to figure all of that out. So as much as the teams are still in it, I think the bigger factor is what is possibly happening or not happening in 2027. The uncertainty of that, I think teams are going to want to just be like, hey, let's just roll with what we got and not move a ton of pieces because we don't know what's coming out of this.
Yeah, I think there's you've got way too many teams still in it. You got the uncertainty next year coming up. You do have, I think some teams that are, I think, realistic to the fact that they might be in it, but they're not really in it.
Right.
I look at the Reds. The Reds are a great example. Do they view themselves as really in it where they've struggled so much this year? Or are they going to say, look, here's our chance, move a couple of guys like, JJ Bleday is like house money for them. They got him for basically nothing. He's turned around his whole career.
They had one player of the month last month. That dude was on a tear.
Do you trade him now? Well, he's at like maybe his peak value. And, do you look to make a move like that because there's an opportunity? Like there are going to be opportunities here for teams to make moves that maybe weren't part of their plan, but maybe make too much sense not to do.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see.
I'm with you. I feel like for all the talk about this deadline and all the names that have been floated out there, I don't know how many moves actually happen.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I want to bring this up. This was a local baseball game in Maine. So I did put a post out there. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but the 8th seed Falmouth Navigators were playing the Gorham Rams in the first, and they were the 1 seed in the first round of the tournament here. Falmouth had a 6-0 lead going into the 4th inning. There was a 4th inning, 2 outs, and the storm came through, wiped out the field, completely unplayable. I mean, so I don't, and a lot of backlash was put on the Gorham Rams for, not having proper drainage or not being able to get the field ready. Like, I mean, this was like inches of rain on the field. Like it was completely unplayable, right? The Maine Principals Association rules say if you don't complete 5 innings, you restart the game the next day. So Falmouth had a 6-0 lead, get completely wiped out. They play the game the next day. Gorham wins 3-0. What are your thoughts on this, Harrison?
I mean, it's a stupid rule. First of all, you should always just resume the game. It's also stupid to criticize a high school for not having like a state-of-the-art facility.
Yeah,
Like, let's be serious, guys.
Come on now.
These are public high schools. You know, you just like there's not snow on them. You know, these fields are, I mean, and I will say, like Gorham and Falmouth, those are very well-off communities that have nice facilities. But what came through in that storm was this was not like it rained for 5 minutes. Like it was torrential downpours for a little while.
Major league teams wouldn't have been able to recover from that.
No, they absolutely would have pushed this game off at any other level. This was not like they were playing on some like backwoods sand lot that couldn't handle a sprinkle. Like this was rain got dumped. But it's a crap rule, and I feel like Falmouth got absolutely screwed, and the kids had a major upset taken away from them.
Yeah. Now, the rule is put in place mostly because in Maine, there is a ton of travel. It is an hour to an hour and a half, sometimes even 2 hours to get to your game, right? So during the regular season, I get it. You don't want to send your baseball team 2.5 hours up the road one way to play the final inning and a half, right? I mean, that's silly. So during the regular season, I totally get it. When it comes playoff time, that's a different animal, right? It is one and done. It's not a double elimination tournament, right? It is one and done. Now, the other thing that's interesting with this is an 8 seed team, you know, if you're looking at it on paper, probably doesn't have the pitching depth that a 1 seed has, right? So for me, the pitch counts count, which I completely understand, right? You are saving the kids' arms for their future, the health of their arm. I get it, right? I don't understand the just suspend it and pick it back up the next day. These towns are close enough where that would have been fine. It's playoffs. That's a completely different animal. This was the MPA needs to look at this. Now, Maine isn't the only state with this rule. There's like another 11 or 12 states that also have this rule in their varsity sports. But when you're in Maine, you have this type of weather. It needs to get changed, right? You have snow. I've been snowed out before, right? You have rain. It's the spring in New England, man. You get rain a lot, right? This rule needs to be looked at and dissected again for sure. But we'll see what happens. Just a raw deal for these kids.
Yeah, and I think that I think that Maine's the only state in New England with this rule. I think all the other New England states around it would do the same thing. And I'm totally understanding the Maine landscape and the fact that some of these trips are a long distance. In the regular season, makes total sense.
Right.
Like in the playoffs, you can't just wipe away what's happened and start fresh. Like it's crazy. That's wild to me.
Yeah.
And because of that, you threw a different pitcher the next day who went out there and pitched great. He was, you completely changed how everybody lined up. But there's so many pieces to this that aren't right.
Right. And Forrest, I get this, right? On the one hand, that's a minor tragedy, but on the other, every one of the teams in the league play under the same rules. I completely understand that, right? But this completely changes the landscape of what the playoffs would have looked like. Right. I mean, Gorham went on today and won. So now they're in the Western Maine finals. And I'm looking at it as just like, if I'm Gorham and I come back the next day and beat Falmouth, am I feeling good about that win? I'm feeling weird, right? I mean, we lost that game. And we got a reset button, and they only needed to record one more out before the rains come, and it didn't happen. And the game would have been official. Right? Yeah. I mean, that's the part that kills me. It's the playoffs. Anything can happen. The 8 seed was there, and it just kind of wiped away. It didn't happen.
And I'm pretty sure Gorham beat Thornton, and Thornton was upset that Gorham was even there because they shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Yep.
Matchups were different, so now it affects other teams downstream, and like the whole. I get all the moving parts here, but it seems like a crappy rule. And what's more disappointing to me too is that like Gorham, the Gorham School Department, the Gorham High School post on their page, like, congrats to these guys, blah, blah, blah. And like people were getting on the page, like, bogus win, you ripped them off. And it's like, this isn't the kid's fault.
Right.
Like Gorham won the replay that's how the rule reads. Congrats to you guys.
It's not even
Like,
the team's fault.
right. Yeah. Don't take that away from these kids who didn't make the rules.
Right.
Like, and to rain on their parade, bad use of words concerning the situation, but to rain on their parade when there's nothing in their control here is crappy. Right. Yes, the rule sucks. Yes, Falmouth got screwed, but don't take it away from these Gorham kids who did what they were supposed to do. They played both games. They won the one that mattered. Good for them. They move on. But the rule sucks.
Yeah, I agree. It was just unfortunate. So
brutal.
We will see what happens with that. It'll be interesting to see what comes of it.
And to Forrest's point, like everybody plays the same rules, yes, but like this has not been an issue that I can ever remember seeing. So yes, this rule exists, been there a long time, but like it's really never come into play. Now that it has, people are like, oh crap, like this is dumb. We didn't realize it because we haven't had to deal with it. I'm just hoping it gets the attention because my guess is you're gonna have a lot of schools and coaches that are like, no, we got to fix that.
Yeah, I agree fully. All right, out of left field discussion topics. Harrison put these together. What do you got for us tonight?
I got some fun ones. I think they're just kind of more conversational, some options and thoughts and theories. So let's see how we do.
All righty.
So first one, obviously, we talked about José Ramírez, his importance to the Guardians, what he means to that team, that organization, that city, everything. So it got me thinking. I mean, José Ramírez is an obvious answer to this question. Maybe not the only answer. Is which player is the most important to his team? And important can mean anything. It can be they're the heart and soul, the best player. But like, which player is the most important to his particular team?
I mean, a name that pops into my head immediately is Aaron Judge, and we're going to see kind of what the Yankees are made of here with Judge out with this broken rib injury. I mean, he's a name that absolutely pops into my head. Anybody else that was like one player like really makes an impact? Like, I hate to see what the Royals look like without Bobby Witt Jr. Yeah, I think it's Aaron Judge for me here, and I don't think it's close. Like, I mean, I would like to say it's Shohei Ohtani, but the Dodgers have enough firepower that without him, they're fine. Without Freddie Freeman, they're fine. Without Mookie Betts, they're fine. Without Will Smith, they're fine. Without Yamamoto, they're fine, right? So it's not like one guy on that team doesn't make the Dodgers tick because the Dodgers are still going to tick. But we take Aaron Judge out of that Yankees lineup for an extended period of time, we got to see what they're made out of. And listen, Ben Rice is having a career year, so maybe there isn't one there. But I think it's Aaron Judge for me, and I can't think of anybody else that really stands out other than José Ramírez, which you have pictured here.
Yeah, I mean, I think J. Ram's an obvious answer. Bobby Witt's a great answer because I think he again one of those guys who really is like the whole face of it. I used to think a guy like Frankie Lindor was super important to his team. I just don't know that he's the same, got the same juice he used to have. I think that Corbin Carroll in Arizona is a guy that he's the straw that stirs the drink, to use the old quote. He really gets everything going for that team. He's a spark plug, and without him, that lineup doesn't seem to have the same mojo. So I think there's some good candidates out there. I do feel like in this age of free agency and stuff like that, where we see guys move a lot, it's like it's hard for a guy to get really like implanted, like José Ramírez has. But I think guys do it. I look right now, like with the Yankees, you could make an argument that the most important guy on that team is Schlittler. He's been the one constant for them all year, even more so than Aaron Judge. He could be the guy that is the most important player on that team.
Yeah. Forrest says it was Skene, but he's blowing up his career ERA this year. Yeah, with a 2.8. Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I for me it's J. Ram and Judge, and Bobby Witt. I don't think there's. I mean, we've seen the Braves win without Acuna, so I can't say it's him.
Yeah.
Yordan Álvarez, what does the Astros look like without his stick in the lineup, putting up 25 homers?
I mean, is Altuve the guy that really makes that team go because of what he does at the top and also his leadership? Like what, important has a lot of different features to it.
Yeah.
Bryce Drangs's a great one. He's another
Yeah.
spark plug guy.
Yep.
Mike Trout with the Angels, is he the guy there anymore, or is it really a guy like Zach Neto who's the most important guy to that team? It's interesting because you do have a lot of teams, I think, that are also in that state of transition where the previous top dog is slowly fading away.
Right.
And that there are teams I look at like the Padres that I love to pick on. None of them. Yeah. I mean, there's not a single guy on that team that I look at as being all that important. Like they're all interchangeable.
Yeah.
It's just an assortment of parts. None of them go together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Mauricio Dubon is a good one. He's played left, short, center, third this season. He's covering a lot of holes, and that's a very valuable piece to have for sure. Highlights says the Giants, Logan Webb, Royals, Witt, Mets, Lindor, Pirates, Skenes, Brewers, Miz. And I can get behind all those for sure.
Yeah, I think they're all great opinions.
Yeah, they all set a tone for their team for sure.
For the Marlins, I think we were all thinking it was Stowers, who's been clearly kind of the guy there. But then you got a guy like Max Meyer this year who's kind of taken over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you look at some of these teams, like let's just go pick on a team like the Cardinals. I mean, Jordan Walker is like the answer that comes to mind, but like, is there really a key guy there, or is it just kind of another assortment of parts that just is playing good baseball right now?
I think JJ Weatherholt's already got that team under his, like he's got control of that team. I think the way that kid has come up and just exploded onto the scene, I think the Cardinals are following that energy. Right. And to have Jordan Walker have his breakout, having those two have the years that they're having, I think the Cardinals are like, all right, like we got something here. Like, let's go. So I think it's a combination of both of them, honestly. I don't watch a ton of Cardinals stuff, but I mean, if you have two guys that are having breakout years at the same time, that sets a tone in the clubhouse for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and I look at a team like the Tigers. I think we all thought Skubal was the most important guy there, but we've seen that team suck with him and without him, and it really hasn't made much of a difference.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of that has started, their collapse last year, the talks of him possibly getting traded in the offseason, and then he was trying to get extended, and the Tigers weren't close, and that carries over, right? Because then the Tigers are sitting there like, well, he's going to be gone. Right. And it does set a tone in the clubhouse for sure. So I don't know. Yeah.
Fair.
But yeah, it's a great question. I love that one. But yeah, it's for me, it's J-Ram, probably J-Ram, Aaron Judge, 1A, 1B, take your pick. Bobby Witt's right behind it. If the Royals were contenders, I would probably put Bobby Witt a little bit further up there, but they're just not. So yeah, that's how I would order them at this moment.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think those are critical guys that really do make a lot of things happen. And I would put Corbin Carroll right behind Bobby Witt. I think what he does to the Diamondbacks is sometimes forgotten because of some of the guys on that team, but he is very much the guy that makes that whole thing go.
Dude's a triples machine. It's insane.
Monster.
Crazy. All right, next one.
All right. So we started to get into it earlier, but let's just ask the question exactly as we want to answer it. So who is the best pitcher in baseball right now? So who's that one guy that is above and beyond the guy?
Well, he's injured right now, but it's Kike Hernandez.
He's pretty good with his pitching helmet on too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's tough not to say the Miz, right? I mean, after that outing he just had, under 100 pitches, 15 Ks, 1 hit. I mean, what else are you asking for?
It's pretty good.
And I mean, he's had another great year. I mean, overall body of work, it still has to be Skenes, I think, for me. Yeah, his ERA has jumped up, but it's still like, you see your name on the lineup card and then you see Skenes on the opposite side of the lineup card, you're like, ah, god damn, like, wasn't this my day off? Right? I mean, like, so I think full body of work for me, it's Skenes. At this particular moment after the outing that the Miz had just had, it has to be him. I mean, Yamamoto almost going perfecto also, but yeah, everyone's with me in the chat. That highlight says Miz. Mike says much watches Miz. Agree. And I don't know if we're getting tired of watching Skenes. I mean, he's still a freaking master on the hill, but
yeah,
the Miz is much must watch right now for sure.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think the Miz. I think Skubal obviously is still elite, but I mean he kind of doesn't matter as much when the team's not good and they haven't been good with him. The Miz he's incredible. He's becoming must watch TV. But two guys that I think might still be ahead of Miz, Christopher Sanchez. I mean, because he's been doing it for a little while now.
Had that scoreless inning streak for a ridiculous amount of innings.
Yeah, 20 something innings, right? I mean, it was just kept going. Sanchez is absolutely elite. And one guy that I still think kind of gets lost out there in LA is Yamamoto. I've been really impressed with what he does. He's in the zone. He gets a ton of soft contact. He's a momentum guy. Once he gets rolling, you can't be stopped. I think his numbers this year don't necessarily look as good as you might hope because he did have a rough start. But when he's on, there's few guys better than him. And what we saw in the playoffs last year from him was, especially the World Series, was absurd.
Inhuman. Sanchez's scoreless streak was 50 2/3, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're right. He did. He got up into 50.
Yeah, Curtis, another great one. Schlittler. I mean, we were just talking about him earlier. That kid is an animal too. Yeah, a 50 2/3 scoreless inning. It's the 5th longest in MLB history. He got a standing ovation too when he finally gave up that first run. Deservedly so. The umpire came out, let him have time too, because I mean that was a dominant stretch by Sanchez for sure. So yeah, I'm with you. I think Sanchez kind of gets overlooked, because he's not. He's really freaking good, but he's not Skenes. He's not the Miz, right? But
yeah,
his talent's there for it.
And another guy who's having an incredible season that I don't think anybody's talking about right now is Dylan Cease. Like, you're getting the good version of Dylan Cease right now in a big way in Toronto. Mm-hmm. Toronto sucks. They're having a terrible season. It's like people are kind of ignoring him, but Cease is back to the crazy high strikeout rates and low contact, soft contact. He's, sub 3 ERA. You're back to seeing, good Dylan Cease. So I think he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. No. But I do think he's one of those guys who you keep your eye on and he's worth watching.
Yeah. Mason Miller, hard to argue with that one. Hard to argue with that.
I mean, he's a guy that's just must watch TV between the entrance and then just the gas he pours. It's jeez.
For me, it's not even the gas, man. It is that 24-inch slider he's got, lateral movement. That's just like, you can't touch that.
Yeah. 104 on the corner, then he throws you a frisbee.
It's just not absolutely disgusting.
It's not right.
No,
it is not right. But
so I don't think there's a wrong answer to this right now. Like there is a lot of great young pitching and fun to watch for sure.
But you can grab 5 or 6 names and they're all they're all good.
I mean, Chapman alone, just at his age, being able to still do what he's doing is freaking insane to me. But yeah, he's must watch too. He's a lot of fun to watch pitch.
Well, and we got other guys like Davis Martin with the White Sox. We've got Aaron Ashby with the Padres, who kind of gets forgotten about. We've like Max Meyer 7-0 with the Marlins. Like you've got so many other guys that are like on the edge of these other guys, just having absurdly good seasons.
Yeah. Nuts. All right, next one.
All right, so for those of you that didn't know, and I'm assuming we all know, the A's are in the midst of a 6-game sort of air quotes homestand in Vegas. As a way to continue to introduce the A's to Vegas. And I've I've watched, I want to say 2 or 3 of these games on the 6-game homestand that wraps up today, I believe. And I've been impressed. The crowd's been good. It's been active. Granted, you're still filling a minor league ballpark, so you don't really know what you'd actually pull in on any given night. But I think, given what we've seen, the support they've gotten, the interest this has gotten, what do we think about the future of MLB in Las Vegas? Is this going to end up being a move we look back on saying that was a great move for the Athletics, or does it not matter?
Well, first of all, they've showed some overhead pictures of the stadium, and it's already taking shape. I mean, they're
Oh, yeah.
flying. They're flying on that thing. So they could be in sooner rather than later, which is pretty awesome. However, Curtis kind of takes the words right out of my mouth right here. The ball absolutely flies here. They had 32 runs on 39 hits today. And then when the Brewers were in town, they had a 15-14 game. That's kind of my worry there. It's going to be great for the Las Vegas offense, right? They keep this A's offense together, going to be insane for them. Is it going to be hard to build a pitching staff when your ERAs are up at 5.5 at home? That's my worry there. Baseball aside, fan-wise, I think they're going to be fine. I think Las Vegas is excited. We look at the Vegas Golden Knights in the finals right now. They're all around them. If you build a contender, they're going to come out and support you. Right? Yeah. I think the A's are on the right track to build a contender eventually here. So I think it's going to be incredible there. I really do.
Yeah, I did not realize Las Vegas was 2,000 feet above sea level. So they're not cores, but they're like halfway to cores. I did not realize that they were that high over sea level. So that's why the ball carries like it does. And that Las Vegas AAA team has always seen crazy home run numbers. And I've been impressed with the showing because, again, like a lot of people visit Vegas, but like how many people actually like live there and are in the community and are going to support this team? It seems like there's a lot of excitement and energy for it. The ballpark, like you said, it's coming along fast. He did a tour of it. They're planning on being there for the 2028 opening day. It is cranking along. The fans seem to be getting excited. The team is getting better. I feel like the timing of this is all working out where, you could have a really good launch into Vegas and create a fan base quickly. But I agree with you. This is going to be an organization that has a difficult time, kind of like the Rockies, of building a truly rounded out roster because that's going to be a tough place to pitch. Great place to hit, tough place to pitch.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're going to be going down the same path as the Rockies, which is you're going to have to pay somebody a lot of money to get them to want to come out and pitch there.
Yeah. Unless we don't know do we know the dimensions of what the wall's going to be put at yet? Have they released anything about what the outfield fence is going to look like?
They've got renderings. They've got all kinds of stuff. I don't think I've seen actual like a layout of the ball field.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen it either.
But I will look it up. But I've not seen it. It's going to be the second highest ballpark in MLB with being 2,000 feet above sea level. 33,000 seats. I still don't see anything about what the actual layout of it.
Yeah, they just haven't even really. So they're not going to have the big foul territory like they had in Oakland. That's cool.
There's like almost no foul territory. It's tiny.
Yeah. So, man, yeah. Well, it's kind of both, right, Mike? The park is tiny, right? The Aviators Park is tiny, but it's also the altitude too, and teams actually can hit a little bit. But I mean,
and they're saying on the broadcast, like this Las Vegas minor league team consistently sees some of the highest home run numbers in the entire league. Like it's a launching pad.
Yeah, for sure. And they're building the park right next door, so it's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, there's almost half a home run per game more in that ballpark than anywhere else in the PCL.
Yep. Before we move on to the next one, Ricky asked, could the Brewers go after Casey Schmidt to play third base?
I mean,
I
if the will they trade Casey Schmidt? Like he's been
Yeah,
the best hitter on that team.
yeah, I was just gonna say I don't know if the Giants let him go.
He's your best guy. I mean, one guy I would mention for the Giants is Arise. He's a guy that could easily be moved. But Casey Schmidt would be tough.
Yeah, I mean, call and ask. It's always worth an ask, but yeah, I don't see that one happening. I don't. But who knows?
Oh, from what I'm seeing here, it looks like they're saying the field. It's so for the A's, it's gonna be 340 to right and left field, 380 to left center, and 415 to center.
Okay, so they've made up for the altitude a little bit for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be slightly. It's gonna look like course. It's gonna be deeper.
Yep.
Which means there's a friggin' lot of grass to cover.
Yep. Well, they got outfielders that do that. You just put Denzel Clark out there, he's got the entire outfield.
Yeah, just put him out there by himself. He's got it covered.
Well, he's not even there right now. It's Bolte, Nick Bolte, and he's fast as hell too. So A's are in good shape. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think Las Vegas baseball is going to be a thing, and it's going to be good finally.
It's not going to be as good as Raleigh baseball, but it will be up there. Anyways,
or Charlotte baseball.
No. All right, next one.
All right, last question for tonight. So all the talk about where Tarik Skubal will go and which team's going to make the best offer. Let's put all that aside. When you look around the landscape of teams that are in it or on the edge of being in it, which team would gain the most from trading for Tarik Skubal? What team would get the biggest impact from adding him to their rotation? Because like the Dodgers, they're probably going to the World Series with or without him. Like it doesn't matter. But like, who would really benefit from him?
Honestly, at this moment, it's the Braves. I think I think it's the Braves would benefit the most from really solidifying that rotation and have the Braves keep playing like they are. I think it's the Atlanta Braves. I would like to say the Mariners, but they really don't need another arm in that staff. I mean, yes, if you could maybe replace Luis Castillo, he's been streaky as hell. Maybe the Mariners he makes a really big impact on. But again, like, does he get kind of lost in that rotation? I mean, maybe not. But I think, I mean, the A's, yeah, 1,000% he would make that A's team way bigger. But I don't necessarily think Skubal's even enough to put them over the edge. But I think it's the Braves. If the Braves somehow pull this off, I think that's one. My other one, and we talked about this on Clearing the Bases, would be the Brewers. Imagine backing him up with Miz. He has like a CC-like second half. The Brewers would be an interesting choice. What the Brewers would have to give up, I don't know if they would do that. I'm not really sure what kind of state the Brewers are in. But that would be a big one. I think it's Atlanta 1, Milwaukee 2 for me.
Yeah, it's hard for me because like the four best pitching staffs in all of baseball are the Dodgers, the Brewers, the Braves, and the Yankees. Like you're already the best pitching staffs. Like adding him doesn't really change that much. I don't know. I think the teams that get the biggest impact from adding a guy like Skubal to the rotation would be teams like the Rays, the White Sox. That'd be amazing if the White Sox got him. The A's. I think it makes a world of difference to them. And probably the Padres. Like if the Padres, if the Padres can get those guys to start hitting finally, like consistently, and you threw a guy like that in your rotation, I mean that team now becomes interesting. But I don't think he makes some of these teams that much better because they're already, the best in terms of pitching.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I was thinking what puts them over the edge to make them World Series contenders is kind of what I was going with it, because I as much of an impact as he would make on the Sacramento A's of Las Vegas, I still don't think it's enough to get them in the playoffs, or maybe it does, but it gets them bounced, right? Like
Sure, makes sense.
So like I'm thinking like serious contention. That's how I kind of took this question. But
Yep.
Ricky, this is a good one. Think Buxton to the Brewers would be more impacting than Skubal to the Braves, and you put a legit power bat in that Brewers lineup. Another one, possibly. I mean, I don't hate that take. But yeah, that's how I kind of took this question. I can definitely see your point for sure. I mean, any of those teams that are on the bubble, it's a win or a quality start every time he's there. And that's what a lot of these teams are lacking, is the stability of pitchers being able to have quality starts. You're going to get that out of Skubal every time he steps foot on the hill.
Constantly.
So yeah, massive impacts for those teams. But for me, it's Braves, Brewers in that order.
Yeah, to go up against the evil empire of the Dodgers is probably the right mix. I will say one team I didn't mention that I do think he would make a world of difference for would be the Astros. Like that team, they haven't really replaced some of the pitching they've lost the last couple of years. I think you had a guy like him, Hunter Brown's coming back. You had a guy like Skubal. All of a sudden now the Astros have a reason to believe, because they can hit. Like that team absolutely rakes.
Yeah.
They just have no healthy pitching.
They can't prevent it.
Yeah. If you can go Hunter Brown, Tarik Skubal 1-2, I mean, that'd be nasty.
Yeah. Pretty wild. I agree. Don't take Buxton away. We have so little. Yeah. Or just do it after I make my trip to Minnesota, then I don't care. But I know Forrest still has to live there. But
I mean, just think the Twins are only 3 games out of the wild card. So like they're still in it.
Wild.
It's such a low bar. I mean, the Red Sox are 29-39 and 4.5 games out of the wild card. Like that's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's not great.
That's how bad the American League is.
Yeah.
I mean,
have we ever seen that?
No. I mean, the Angels and Royals have the worst record in the American League at 29-43. They're only 6.5 games out.
That's crazy. Now, so that means the National League must have a complete leg up in interleague play, right?
Oh, yeah.
National League must just be destroying American League teams.
Yes. Yeah, it's not pretty.
Yeah. And Ricky's with you, and I'm with you too. I didn't even really think of the Astros, but yeah, with their lack of starting pitching right now, Skubal to them would definitely help the Astros get back to the top of the division for sure.
Yeah, I mean that can make the Astros an ALCS team.
Yeah, agree. All right, Harrison, what do we got?
All right, we're gonna do a little guess who tonight, and just mixing it back up, coming back around to some other trivia. We've been changing some formats and playing with some things and just bringing some stuff back that seem to be popular. So I got a few guess who's for you tonight. I got a mix of I have players from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, so I got a good mix of eras in there, and we'll see how these go.
All righty, let's get to it.
So first one, I spent most of my career in Canada, but liked New York. I won 3 consecutive Gold Gloves and 5 Silver Sluggers. I started the rally in Game 6 of the 1986 World Series, and I was primarily a catcher. Can you guess who?
Pretty sure I know this one.
I feel like I feel like most people will get this one.
I was thinking Blue Jays at first when you said Canada, but I think it's the other team.
I tried to mix up some of the clues so it wasn't so obvious. So I'm trying to make these a little more difficult.
Yep. You guys all got it. I think, anyways, it's Gary Cata.
It is.
Yeah, Gary Cata. Love it. Nice. Wow, his baseball card there almost matches the silhouette. Perfect.
I know. I was like, that's a good one. I'll keep that.
Yeah, it's really close. Love it. Yeah. So nice job, guys. Yep, Gary Carter. Everyone got it. Perfect. All right, next one.
All right. Here's one that I think we all should get. I spent most of my career in St. Louis. I made it to 15 All-Star games, 12 in a row. I won a Silver Slugger and was nearly MVP in 1987. My glove was usually gold. Can you guess who?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So everyone got that one. Nice. Yep. Another good one here for sure.
Yeah, so trying to find a way to ask these questions where it's a little bit, it's at least a bit of a thinker versus a slam dunk.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard when you have a guy like this. It's like, how do you not make it a slam dunk?
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. So,
and you'll see, like, I took some, like, there are some lesser known guys in these groups. So it's a mix and match, just trying to see how they play.
Yep. So we got Ozzy, we got the Wizard, we got Keith Hernandez.
Yep.
So
it is for sure Mr. Smith.
Yeah. But
the Ozman cometh.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Next one.
All right. This is for our Minnesota contingent. I spent most of my career in Minnesota. I made it to 18 straight All-Star games. I led the league in batting average 7 times. And I was the 1977 AL MVP. Can you guess who?
Yeah, I got this one. Because this MVP also hit a ton of home runs that year, right?
Yes.
And by a ton, I mean like none.
So many.
Like none. Yeah. This one's definitely Rod Carew. Won the MVP with 0 home runs.
Hitting
or
machine.
was it or was it 1? It was something random like that, right? His MVP year, it was why can't I find it? Oh, his MVP year. He actually had more than that. He had
MVP
he had 14 that year.
More. Yeah, it was somebody else we had that one for. I'm trying to remember who it was.
I thought for sure it was him. He does have a year where he had no home runs, but he hit 318. He was still got MVP votes, but 14 home runs that year, but still
won a batting title, but didn't hit a home run.
Yeah. All right, next one.
All right. I spent my entire career in Detroit. I was the 1978 Rookie of the Year. I won 3 straight Gold Gloves and 4 Silver Sluggers at second base. And I am not in Cooperstown. Can you guess who?
Yeah, I got this one.
The Canes just score?
Yeah, all I have to say is MLB's coming to Raleigh, baby. Come on. 3-0, empty netter. 1 minute left in the game. Yeah, it's definitely Lou Whitaker for sure. Sweet Lou. Has to be.
Yes, it is.
I still, this one blows my mind how Alan Trammell is in and this guy's not. I don't get it. I really don't.
And it's tough because they were so linked and Lou Whitaker was so good.
Yeah. I just don't understand it. I really don't. All right. Next one.
All right. I spent nearly my entire career in Cleveland. I was an All-American pitcher at UConn in the late 80s. I was very consistent except for in the playoffs. And I had 10 complete games in 1992. Can you guess who?
I have a couple names in my head, but I don't know if I thought he was later. 92's throwing me off. I thought he was later.
Well, 92 could have been his rookie season too. You never know.
Well, I mean, that's also facts. 92. It's killing me.
Well, think about it. You had those crazy good Indians teams.
Yeah. The only name that's coming into my head is we got John Williams, we got Perry Malone. The only name that's sticking in my head is Nagy.
And that's who it is.
But is it really? Only name I could come up with there that I was thinking he was later 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, and he played until early 2000s.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, there it goes. It should have waited another 20 seconds. Michael had him. Yeah, Nagy. Nice. It's a good one. Love it. All right, next one.
All right, this one everybody should jump on. I spent my entire career in Cincinnati. I won an MVP award, and it wasn't even my best season. I was a true 5-tool player that made it to Cooperstown, and I had more walks than Ks. Can you guess who?
Oh, I think I got it. Yeah, John Temple. I'm with you. I think it's Barry Larkin as well.
And you would be correct.
Yeah. So, Musicum, Joey Votto should be in the Hall of Fame, but his numbers are borderline, and he did sign with the Blue Jays, so I don't know if he didn't make the MLB roster, but he was on the Blue Jays. I don't know if that technically counts, but yeah, Barry Larkin for sure. Nice.
Yeah, Votto's not going to be on the ballot until like 2029 or 2030, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, because he was still active last year.
It's until you officially retire.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep. So, yes, Mr. Larkin. All right, here we go. I spent most of my career in Detroit. I had 7 seasons of 20 or more home runs. I won a Gold Glove at third base and a Silver Slugger at shortstop. And I made the playoffs with Cleveland. Can you guess who?
Maybe.
Maybe it's not super convincing. Yes, sir.
Okay. That's really the only Detroit Cleveland connection I could come up with off the top of my head. But yeah, Ricky got Larkin on that last one too. Nice. Yeah, Joseph, I was with you too. Yep. Travis Fryman, absolutely correct. Nice.
I was figuring Joseph would jump on this one with the Detroit connection.
Yeah. Love it. All right.
All right. Next one up. I started in Montreal, but had to move to Washington. I am near the top of most Expos offensive records. I was an all-star 3 times and won a Silver Slugger. I had my best season in 2000. Can you guess who?
So who made the move with the team? There was only a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zimmerman was only a national. I don't think
he came in. I think he came in their inaugural year, right?
So yeah, I think so. So we had Brad Wilkerson, I think, switched over. We had who else was with them and went to Washington with them? Oh, who's the other one? Oh, I think I got it. I love this guy. I can't believe it took me this long. I can't believe it took me this long.
I love this guy too. He's the second baseman that I always traded for in all the video games.
Oh, he was so good.
He was the man. And I'm using I threw second base out there to give guys a hint because everybody's on Zimmerman.
Oh yeah, not the catcher. Yeah,
second baseman.
Oh, what a great one. I can't believe it took me that long to.
I loved this guy.
Yeah. And it's not Mike Lansing.
Yeah, no. As much as you love Mike Lansing, this is not him.
Or Gredzalonic.
Yeah. Marky G.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna end the suspense here.
Okay.
It is Jose Vidro for sure. There it is, Mike. Yeah, Jose Vidro for sure.
It is absolutely Jose Vidro. I used to love
Right.
this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Ricky got him too. Nice. Love that. Good one.
All right, Twins fans, this one's for you. I spent most of my career in Minnesota. I was a starting pitcher, but was moved to the bullpen. I had back-to-back 40 save seasons in 2002 and 2003, and I made frequent appearances. Can you guess who?
Yeah. I got this one for sure. The nickname alone, man.
Yeah, the last one gave it away. I'm like, how do I mix that in without like using the word?
Yeah, right.
I made frequent appearances.
I was always ready.
Yeah,
and
I started
very consistent.
Yeah, I started off with something like I pitched a lot. Some might say and then use the word, but I'm like, let's give that away.
Yeah. Not Joe Nathan. It's not Joe Nathan.
No, not Joe Nathan. This guy was known for pitching a lot. Some might even say he pitched every day.
Yeah.
I loved this guy. He was so damn entertaining.
Yep. Yep. Not Nathan. Nathan's been the good guess. It's not Nathan. It is a lefty. Yeah, it's Steady Eddie for sure.
Everyday Eddie Guardado.
Steady Eddie. Yep. Man, so good.
Loved watching him pitch. He was entertaining as hell. Like, just emotions and excitement. And
Twins had some good pitchers, man. Guardado. They had Francisco Liriano when he was actually good. You had Johan Santana ahead of him. Like then Joe Nathan behind this guy. Like I mean, Twins had some stuff for a while.
Yeah, they cranked out Troy Hawkins, who was throwing like crazy gas back in that time.
Yep. Yeah, there's some good guys. All right.
All right, last one. I spent most of my career in Florida, but loved New England. I won 2 World Series and was an MVP in one of them. I drove in 100 runs 3 times and hit 20-plus home runs 6 times. And I beat Scott Rowland for a Gold Glove. Can you guess who?
Oh, no, it can't be. I was thinking Hanley at first, but it's not him. I think I got it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Lowell. There it is. Yeah, I was thinking Hanley at first, but it's definitely Mike Lowell. Nice one.
Yep.
Love it.
Mr. Lowell.
Yep, Mike Reed got it too. Nice. Nice work. Oh, that's it.
That's it. That's the last one.
That's it. Oh man.
All good things must come to an end.
Yep, absolutely. But all right. Anything else out of you or the chat before we end tonight? My Canes did win, so let's go. Baseball to Raleigh is on deck. Let's go. We needed that. Show the MLB how avid these fans are in Raleigh. That's a big championship. I don't think you guys understand. Like, if you can show the other leagues what kind of fan base is here, MLB might want to look at this for sure.
Yeah.
So,
I just want to point out when we talked about Miz earlier, he did actually set the fastest pitch thrown by an MLB starting pitcher record when he threw that pitch 105 past Schwarber. That was a starting pitcher record.
Yeah, insane.
Just gas.
And like numerous times. I just like it's not even just once. It's just he just comes after you.
Yeah, but even Schwarber, like I think they called it a foul tip, and Schwarber's like he's looking back at the umpire like, what the hell?
Yeah. Did you see that? Because I certainly didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely insane. Yeah, congrats to the former Hartford Whalers. Yeah, love it.
Should we play some Brass Bonanza for them? No?
No, they don't even play Brass Bonanza there.
Why? That's such a great song.
No, because that's the Whalers thing.
I know, but you can't let Brass Bonanza die. Like that was the song.
Yeah, but not for them. But yeah,
I think that's crazy.
Well, I don't. Do you see Miz shaking off Contreras, but no signs up? You're gonna play it anyways.
I'm gonna do it anyways, man. This is our show. I'll do whatever I want.
Okay, fair enough.
We're playing some Brass Bonanza here. Everybody soak it in.
Yeah. Man.
Gotta let the Hartford Whalers live on forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they play it when they throw the Hartford Whalers throwbacks, Mike Reed, but all good things must come to an end, and hopefully the Tigers 2026 season. Yeah, what did you say before the show, Harrison? As we were like going on live, you said something to that degree for the Red Sox.
Oh, geez, yeah, I forget what it was. Something along similar lines. It was, I just want the season to end.
Yeah, but no, Ricky, I didn't see Miz shaking off Contreras at all. But I mean, they do have the pitch comms now, so I mean, you're not going to see signs or anything, but you can still shake off like what the catcher calls out. But it's like, yeah, just throw fastballs, buddy. They can't see it anyways. So insane.
It's wild.
Did you see the A's closer the other night coming in, throwing 103, 104 as well?
No, I didn't.
So they pulled him up from AAA, and that's half the reason why they traded Mason Miller away was to get Leo DeVries, and they had this closer waiting in the wings. And this dude throws cheddar as well. So absolutely insane. Thanks,
I had
Ricky.
the game on the background, but late in the game, I wasn't watching closely. I was actually in another room. So
yeah. Thanks, Ricky. This is what we do every Sunday night, Thursday night. We just go on. We talk about the game and the current state. Thursdays for the next few weeks is actually Jeopardy night. So yeah, we have a blast with this, and we love interacting with you guys. So thanks for stopping in and checking us out. But
did you see the videos going around of Paul Skenes stopping at
the
Little League field
practice? Yeah, it's so sick, man. That's so cool. Yeah, it was like, I think the first one I saw was like Livy Dunn. It's like when you're on your way home and your boyfriend tells you to pull over, and then she like turns the camera around and he's like playing pass with the kids. So yeah, insane. Pretty cool. Yeah. I have so much respect for guys that do that, right? Can take just 5 to 10 minutes out of their day, stop by, and those kids are going to talk about that for the rest of their lives. Like, think when their grandparents themselves, they're going to be telling their kids, yeah, you remember Paul Skenes, the baseball legend? He stopped at my Little League practice. Like, that is a story that they will remember for the rest of their lives. So just absolutely. Is there any validation to the stuff going around that they are measuring pitchers differently now, so it seems like pitchers are throwing faster? So they're actually, the guys that we've talked about or talked to lately have said that they think that the radar guns are juiced.
Yep.
A little bit.
Every one of them said it.
Yeah. So they're thinking that like they're getting the measurement out of their hand. Like it's like run immediately, like from the finger release or something like that, right? So not necessarily when it crosses home plate what the speed is, but like when it leaves their hand or something to that nature. I don't know how they're really measuring it right now, or they just dialed up a couple MPHs on the radar gun. But either way, like these guys are throwing cheddar. But
yeah, it did, and totally kind of off topic, but sort of nearby. Have you seen this story about Andrew Toles and the Dodgers?
No.
So I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with Andrew Toles, but Andrew Toles was a prospect for the Dodgers. He played from 16 to 18. He stepped away from baseball during the 2019 season because he was dealing with some mental health issues. He was later diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
Oh, I do know this story.
So every year from 2019 to 2025, the Dodgers have renewed his contract to keep him eligible for the MLB health program to get it so he gets the help that he needs. Well, the rules changed and you can no longer just renew contracts for nothing. So the Dodgers, I believe, have announced they've been working with his parents because they want to continue to support him because he was a top prospect for them and they want to see this through. The Dodgers are now providing his medical care, I believe, at their cost, to continue to get him the meds and the help that he needs to deal with his schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. So one of the, as much as we give the Dodgers crap for what they do, this is a situation where very quietly for years, they've been taking care of a former player they had no obligation to take care of, because they felt like it was the right thing to do. And they're now, kind of footing the bill because they said they would, and they made the commitment to take care of him. So I thought it was really cool that I've known about the contract being renewed. I didn't realize the rules changed.
Yeah.
And so they're now coming up with new ways to help him, but they are continuing to support this guy who's been out of the game for 7 years.
I friggin' love that. It's bigger than the game at that point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's somebody's life that you're helping support. That, it shows that most organizations do treat these guys like family. And current players that we've had on, it's like, hey, like when I showed up for first day of spring training, then like I felt like I was part of something bigger. I wasn't just on a baseball team, like I was part of a family. And for all the crap we give the Dodgers and stuff, this is an incredible story. And I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Anything else before we head out tonight?
That's it from me.
All right. Well, week 2 of Jeopardy will be back Thursday night, 9 p.m. We had a pretty great first game. No perfect game, so got to keep the goatee, which is great. Hopefully no perfect game on Thursday as well. But Thursday is going to be cool. We have some follower categories that they sent me in a messenger. So they're guys that don't play, and they just sent me some categories to do. So those will be in the show on Thursday. So thank you to Ivan Lee for giving us. He gave me 2 categories, and Michael Simpson gave me 1. So I know Michael Simpson got a point last week. He will not be able to answer his own questions, but he can answer the ones written by other people. So that's how we will play that. But really excited. Jeopardy is always a great time in week 2. So if you didn't score in the top 5 on Thursday, you can come back and still work your way into the standings. And after 5 weeks, we'll see who the season 2 Jeopardy champion will be. So can't wait. Have a great week of baseball. We'll see you Thursday for Jeopardy. Have a good week, fellas and ladies.